award-winning Tennessee Wildcast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Wildcast. We're glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching, for listening, for tuning in on the radio.
Yes.
Just thanks for being here. We have a great show for you today. We're excited to have Mr. Mark Vance with us today.
Yeah.
And Mr. Don King is helping me co-host.
You bet.
I'm excited.
Takes two of you for me, right?
Yeah, we needed
I feel real good about
tag team it today. If you don't know Mark, you're about to know who he is. He's a great guy, one of our law enforcement officers, now the new manager on Percy Priest WMA.
That's right.
And if you've watched our social media, you've seen Vance's ventures. So we'll talk a little bit about that today.
I hope they've never seen me, so that's the whole point. I don't want to be part of the video. Just watch the video.
Yeah, you're always behind the camera, which is okay. It's okay, but we couldn't have those adventures without you. It's cool to see what you see as an officer and as a manager out there in the field. So that's what I love about that little segment. But we're excited to have you today. It is deer season.
It is.
Archer deer season is here. I'm excited to get out there when I can. I hadn't had a chance yet, but we will before too long.
Yeah.
Hopefully be able to hit some WMAs and highlight some of those places to hunt out there. So it's always fun.
Yeah.
Have you been out yet, Mark?
I have not. I've hunted a little bit, but not the deer kind. I've been out hunting deer hunters a little bit.
That's part of the job.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's opening weekend. I got out there a little bit and worked with the officers in the county just a little bit here and there. But, maybe I'll take care of my hunting part here sometime later in the week.
Yeah. Well, let's start there on hunting. Did you grow up outdoors, hunting and fishing and all that fun stuff?
Oh gosh, from my earliest memory, I can remember 7 or 8 year old pellet rifle. The Red Ryder. You'll shoot your eye out with that thing.
Yeah,
but I had that thing, and of course the cardinals and the mockingbirds around the house. They were in no danger of me with that thing. But I was a great white hunter at 7 and 8 years old. But even a little later with a pellet rifle, I took my share of squirrels at 10, 11 years old. So
yeah.
I've been out there stomping around the woods since I could remember I could.
Yeah, and today you've been through the ranks as an officer and now as a manager at one of the WMAs here, Percy Priest. And did you ever think you'd be working with the agency? Is that what you set your goals to be?
Well,
growing up,
I would have to say absolutely yes. I mean, from a young age. Bob Lowry was the first game warden I remember. He's the one that took my, not the Bob Lowry that works with us now, it was his dad,
okay.
Bob Lowry Sr.
Yeah.
Bob passed away a few years ago from cancer, but had Hunter Ed under him, and I can remember that image of him in that uniform, even at 11 years old when I took the hunter safety. It wasn't even required then, but
right,
you could take
right.
it, and you went ahead and took it. And from then all the way up till I finally did it at 40 years old. So there's a span right there. That's another story. But at 40, I went on and was able to get lucky enough to get hired on with the agency. So here I am at 54 here in about 3 weeks. So
wow, that's
going on.
That's crazy to think about. That's 14 years.
Well, it'd be actually it was 12 this past August.
Okay.
So it's just
wow.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Well, I went back to school at 40. It took me a couple of years to get another degree. I say another degree, so I'd already went through school with something else. So here we are.
Well,
and that's a little known fact too. When people start thinking about, that's something I might want to do for a living. It's good to know that you have to have a background in biology, forestry.
That's right. That's right.
So,
and every now and then you run into folks that 2 days ago got stopped in a store, a young man and his dad. Hey, he wants to be a game warden. And the first question I always ask, can you just not live without going hunting and fishing? Well, sure, man, that's what I'll ever want to do. Then this job's not for you. You're always hunting. You're not hunting on opening day. You're working.
Yeah.
When the fish are biting, what are you doing? You're out there checking fishermen, make sure they're all square. You're going to get to hunt during the week, but it's not like that crisp first light of the opening morning,
right?
Or the when those fish are going to be there. It's a little different. But the mindset, I want to be in a situation Well, this is really going to sound corny, but I want to make sure that resource, and I've always thought this, that resource needs to be there for somebody else.
Right.
And even before I was an officer, man, I always wanted to be square on my license, square on my size, square on my creel limit.
Yeah.
Made sure my shot what I was killing. So, I wanted to, make sure it's square. So now I've just transferred that into making sure other folks are doing it. Sometimes whether they want to or not, but that's part of it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool to hear. That's, not only are officers busy, I mean, the biologists, the biologists don't have time to go hunting and fishing sometimes.
Right.
Even myself, being in communications, I don't always find the time to get out there.
Yeah.
It's tough, but if you enjoy what you're doing, helping others get out there and enjoy the outdoors, it kind of fills the void a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's, this time of year, I start thinking about sauger and walleye. Cordell Hull, from now to Christmas, I can go up there on a 20-degree night and I can catch fish. I don't forget to fish during the summer, but when it slows down in the wintertime, that's where I'm at. So I do enjoy that type of fishing. So, and it's a little easier to do it this time of year because not a whole lot going on. You got a lot more darkness hours than you do daylight. And that's when I want to catch those fish. So.
Yeah.
Well, since you're on fishing, what's some of the favorite fishing spots around the area? You might give a few tips for some folks.
Oh, gosh. Pools Knob, people fish there. Just checked a couple of fellas down there yesterday. Jefferson Creek, tons of fishing goes over on Jefferson Creek access. Crappie, the fall crappie run is probably already on. I've not talked with, I'll call them the fish heads, what they are, but I'm sure they're seeing a few of the young of the year checks, so they're already doing that. Hybrid have run all summer, I think. I think they were catching them just after the last frost, and they've caught those all summer. It's been a great year for hybrid. So night fishing still going on. I know they're catching smallmouth over here on the lake, even though it's up about 3 feet from what it normally pools this time of year, because I had to mow in lake water today on the WMA.
Yeah.
I'm literally in some areas, and that's lake water in the lakes. I can see it over there through the trees. So that's just part of it.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show you you're doing it all. You're doing a lot. I mean, because
I'm not doing enough. Don't say I'm not doing. At least that's what it feels like sometimes.
I mean, if you're not on a tractor, you're not checking a fisherman or a hunter, or deciding what needs to be planted here or there. I mean, you got your crew, right? You got a crew there that helps you out. Are you by yourself?
Me, myself, and I.
Okay, all right.
And it's you talking about checking folks. It's kind of odd when I'm driving around on a track of bush hogging and I see somebody that might be fishing or getting ready to go hunting. And I pull up, cut the PTO off on a tractor, and I step out with a gun about, can I see your license? And they're not used to a game warden stepping off a tractor. It's a big green tractor, not a big green truck. But the way it is out there on the WMA, it's used all the time. A lot of people out there. I checked fishermen today. I checked dog trouters today. One fellow wanted to go squirrel hunting. He actually stopped and asked, so he was good to go today. And, as a matter of fact, that's on Unit 1. This may be opening up a can of worms talking about Unit 1.
Well,
Unit
Priest has 2 different units, right?
2 different units.
And they're both in the guide, too.
They're both in the guide.
TNWildlife.org.
TNWildlife.org. And most sporting goods places, if they got any sporting goods at all, should have some of these guides. But Unit 1 is separated out because it's the dog trial area. It's closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, September 1st through April 30th. Still have to educate folks on that a little bit. This weekend there was some bow hunters that they're on the wrong side of the road. Unit 1's over there, Unit 2's over here. But there's good maps on our website that you can look and find that. So, and it's a little different because the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and on Unit 1, I guess if you look at it right, the only thing that an adult can hunt on Unit 1 besides deer and turkey is a squirrel.
Okay.
No waterfowl. The rabbit and quail are left for the youngsters. So that's it's a little different on Unit 1. Read your guide, know it well. And me, I've been there a little over 3 months. I still carry it around with me. Got it on the tractor to make sure if I get a phone call, I'm not telling somebody wrong.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Unit 2 is a little different. It's a little more open statewide. Well, I guess I do need to back off just a little bit. It's shotgun only. during the rifle season. Archery, you can hunt with archery anytime, just like you can the rest of the season, but no center fire rounds for deer. And on the Unit 1, it's muzzleloader for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the 2 weeks of the muzzleloader season. And it's kind of squirrely, but man, you got to think about it because it's only open on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you can hunt with muzzleloader during the muzzleloader season, but when the rifle gets here, it's all bow.
Okay.
Nothing but bow after those 2 weeks of muzzleloader season.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's why it's important to read up on the guide.
Read the guide. That's it.
Yeah, we turkey hunted out there this past year and didn't have any luck, but saw where birds had been and saw evidence that the people had harvested some birds.
Had a good crop of poults out there this time. I probably counted it on Unit 1. Now I can't see Unit 2, but Unit 1 I probably counted 25 poults in 3 different groups. So
wow.
Had a pretty good hatch out there.
Good deal.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few just around my house too there in Wilson County. It's
Good.
It's good to see some birds running around.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
speaking of squirrels, what's the squirrel population out there on Unit 1? Is it looking pretty good?
If you can get out towards the Pools Knob area on that end, there's a lot of good mature oaks out there. That's where you're going to find the squirrels. On the Unit 1 proper, there's a few scattered oaks here and there. It's just going to be really tough to find them. Most of that area is fairly open, not a lot of wooded areas. If you'll get on the western edge towards the Bonacqua water plant, there's a little more mature woods over there. You're going to find some. So there's squirrels out there. They can be found.
Yeah.
So they are there. So I know it's good. There's a good oak crop this year too. So we got a good mass crop coming down this time.
Good.
Well, Don and I decided in some 22s the other day, so we might go see if we can find a few of them.
Well, y'all come on. We'll get out there and we'll see if we can't come up with something.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be fun. It's a good time of year to be outside. It's cooling off. The weather's nice. It's hard to beat fall.
I can handle 85 degrees when it's 40% humidity. When it's 90% humidity, no, just give me that air conditioning. That's that humidity just tears me up.
But your tractor cab, that's climate control, right?
Okay,
Just
I believe you.
Just kidding. Depending on how fast you're going, I guess. Huh?
If you get enough ground speed up at 3 miles an hour, you're doing good.
Speaking of that, a lot of our guys that work on our properties, they're farmers too. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a little bit of everything. It's biology, but it's farming. I mean, you farm. You got a farm in where you live.
I call it a farm. I've got to take care of 16 acres where my mom is. But, I'm a truck farmer. 1,600 feet of okra. I mean, that's
wow.
Yeah.
We sell out of it. I probably had a couple of thousand feet of corn that I sold out of this time. Tomatoes, I'm not a big row cropper by a soybean farmer, but something you got to get in there, you got to work on, got to pay attention, got to see what's going on. So,
Yeah.
Another thing about these land managers, is you got to be a mechanic too, and a way to fix stuff with baling wire and whatever
That's
else
it.
you got.
Baling wire and duct tape are the handiest tools, almost as good as a pipe wrench and a 2x4.
It's amazing some of these guys that get, at commission meetings will recognize a person every now and then, for stuff they've done. And
Technician of the year.
I know
or
some
manager
of
the
these
year.
innovations they've come up with just on their own is just amazing.
And this is, and I'm going to say this, and I love Glenn Rogers to death. He's the Tech 2 that retired in front of me. And of course, he'd been gone for about a year and a half. So there were some other fingers in the pie. So coming along and finding some of the stuff that was fixed, I'm like, oh my word. But I'm not pointing a finger at anybody. But yeah, when things are left to set for a little while, stuff happens.
Yeah,
so,
right.
and you got to come in and fix it. And I'll spend a half a day getting this part off so I can figure out what it is and find out the source for it, see if I can get it ordered. So, and that's happened. So, and then there's phone calls. I've got Glenn on speed dial. Hey, do you remember this tractor? Where do I find this part right here? And I tell him which one it is, and I tell him what a halfway description of what it is. Yeah, you'll find that right over here under this, and lift that up, and there it is. I'm like, how do you remember this? Because he's had that tractor apart 14 times and put it back together with no loose parts.
For sure.
That's right.
It's amazing how resourceful our guys are too. I mean,
It is.
they try to fix it if they can, instead of taking it to the dealer or whatnot. these guys are smart. They know what they're doing, and if they can fix it,
that's another day or two's work that isn't going to get done.
That's it.
That machine's down.
If it's got to sit there and not work, that and not do what it's asked to do, it's tough.
Yeah.
I've got a disc right now, and we're having problems with, I guess, all over the United States and here in Tennessee getting parts from certain places.
Sure.
I've got a part to a bush hog that's back ordered. They're talking late October.
Man. Oh, man.
So what I'm going to have to do is Ralph and Peter to pay Paul. If I need to use that bush hog, it's at Headwaters. I have Headwaters too, which is in Cannon County.
Okay, yeah.
My bush hog is down up there, so I'm going to have to take a part off the bush hog at Priest, load it in the truck, take it up there, and put it on that bush hog and use it. When I get done, take it off, bring it back home.
Yeah.
Put it back on.
Wow.
So you got to do what you got to do.
And that's another thing. Our managers, they've got multiple properties, like you said. Headwaters is yours. I've hunted Pea Ridge this past year. That's nearby.
That's very nearby.
Headwaters and. So
that's
yeah,
a pretty good ride from Percy Priest too, isn't it? How far is that?
Right at 40 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's I try not to get on the big road because anymore the I-24 is crazy road.
You never know, unpredictable.
But Mercersburg Road 70, and that'll take me almost within 4 miles of the WMA up there, so it works out pretty good.
Middle
Pretty good
Tennessee
ride.
is blessed with properties to hunt.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty crazy what
Oh, yeah.
how you can get to different places. And
And
easy.
I would be on Headwaters. Man, I had people from all over the southeast hunting. And I had one guy that was hopping. He lived in Oklahoma, and he was made a circuit. And he showed me his license.
Oh, yeah?
And he come through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky. He'd already bought his Kentucky license, Ohio, and I think he was doing an Illinois hunt before he went back home.
Oh, wow.
And Headwaters was one of his stops, and he was able to take a bird. So
Okay,
he was
turkey.
turkey. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was turkey hunting this past spring.
That's cool.
Then I had another fellow that was out of Ohio that came down. He went to Unali, and he asked me if there was anything else in Middle Tennessee, and I told him about Headwaters, and sure enough, he sent me a picture where he bagged one over there on Headwaters. So that was pretty neat. So
Wow, that's good.
They get utilized. I tell you right now, these WMAs, they do get utilized.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are busier than others, but
Mm-hmm.
some of them, it's wide open. There's not many people out there, especially during the middle of the week.
That's it.
There's some good times to be out there.
I had this question the other day. I had somebody. He said, "Does Priest get hunted?" And I kind of thought. I said, "Are you where you can look at it on your phone or computer?" Yeah, I've got it pulled up right now. Okay. I said, "Okay, back off that satellite view and look at that." And if you look at Percy Priest WMA, except for the lake, everything around it is residential.
Mm-hmm.
People can walk there and hunt. All they got to do is walk across the road. So it gets its pressure.
Yeah.
Today I probably on a Monday, 9 o'clock there, I'm there bush hogging, and when I get there, there's 6 vehicles parked around. People doing different things. One lady was just walking her dog. Other people were working dogs. It's just it gets used. It's heavily utilized.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, does somebody walking their dog or just accessing WMA, what do they have to have?
Walking the dog, nothing.
Okay.
They can come out there. We do ask them to stay on the roads, not out in the fields where their dog might jump a deer and take off after a deer, disturbing the game. But walking on the roads, we don't have an issue with that. Fishing, of course, you just got to have a fishing license for the state of Tennessee. In most ponds, if you're fishing in a private pond, somebody owns all the land around it. They own that water. You don't have that. But here, where the TWA owns all the land around it, guess what? Those are waters of the state. So you've got to have a license to fish in that water, just like you do the lake that's 100 yards away.
Yeah.
People that come out there and work their dogs, train dogs, they got to have the Type 1 and Type 93 in order to do that. That's part of it. And then, of course, the small game for any of the squirrel hunting and Type 1 normal license. Of course, the sportsman's license cover that, and all the lifetime license covered the same way.
That's what I like to tell people. But that sportsman's, you're good to go.
No,
you don't have to think about it. You can hit any WMA you want to, get out there and have fun.
That's it. Don't have to buy anything extra.
Yeah. Well, but I don't want to let time get by and not touch on some of the stuff I had written down. Your knowledge, I think it's fun. If you've seen Vance's Ventures on our Facebook page, you see Mark out there. You don't see Mark, you hear Mark behind the phone, and he's recording birds or squirrels or a fox or whatever it may be, and telling us a story about it or telling us the science behind it, why they're doing this or that, and you're rescuing birds and things here every now and again. Just how did that get started, and why do you do that? Why do you take time out of your day to shoot video of these animals and then educate people?
And we're glad you do.
We are glad.
Well, I would have to go way back. I mean, I've never been photogenic, but I've always been a photo bug to take pictures and all such as this. And even before I got with the WMA, I didn't have a cell phone, but I had a cell camera, and I was working for. What really got me started in a big way on digital stuff was a digital camera, taking pictures while I was working for the American Chestnut Foundation, which that's another tangent. I'm not going in that direction.
Okay.
I worked for the American Chestnut Foundation, and I'm still a member. But taking pictures in the woods of stuff I've seen, stuff I run into, interesting stuff. But now this camera, which sometimes I just want to skip it like a rock across the lake and let it go. But it's handy. You see something odd, you see something strange. The strange stuff is always interesting to try to figure out what it is. But then the interesting stuff that I know a little bit about, and there's some folks that don't. So I want to try to do that. And this came about from in Cannon County. I did a bird presentation because I like my little birds. I like my little Tweety birds. Did this presentation, and they asked, do you mind? Tell us this stuff, when you see one like that. So I have a birders thread. And actually now I have two birders thread because I have the people that have iPhones on one thread that are pretty easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And then I have the folks that don't have iPhones, which from an iPhone, it's devastatingly hard to try to get a video out to them. And that's why all my videos are 1 minute and 30 seconds. Anything over 1 minute and 30 seconds, I can't send to the non-iPhone users.
Hey, that's good.
the reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sometimes I might send you 2 or 3 different ones on the same subject.
Yeah.
And that's why, because I'm sorry, I want, not necessarily that I'm trying to spread around any kind of wealth of knowledge, but, to me, some of the stuff seems real simple, and I've always known it. I've always been real good at trees. It took me a little while to learn the scientific name when I come around, but just wanting to show people what I'm running into out in the woods, whether it's a snake, whether it's a tree, or, natural phenomenon, clouds, sunbursts, whatever, stuff that I find interesting, take a picture. And I think the one that's really bounced all the way around the world was the pollen video.
I was going to say that. I mean, you sent me that. That was one of the first videos you sent me, and I was like, why are we not posting this? This is great. And I was like, I asked my wife, what could we call this? This is great. His name's Mark Vance. We need to make a series. We can put this on social media. It'll be gold. And
Amy
the weather
came through with the name.
Amy did.
Awesome.
Yeah, she said, Vance's Adventures. I was like, yeah, that's perfect. But anyway, we posted that, and the Weather Channel picked it up.
Yeah.
And it was great to see, and I'd never seen it before, but pollen releasing from these cedar trees.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean,
Wow.
I had seen at a time or two a tree, maybe here and there, and hit a tree one time and saw it release. But to be there when they're just all simultaneously releasing was just like I said on the video, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And it was.
And the excitement in your voice, I mean, it was, you were excited to see what you were seeing and share that with folks, and I think that's awesome.
And I went back into my phone when you said, you asked the great question, have you got any more of these? And I was like, does he really want to see these?
I do.
So now every time the birders get one, Jason Harmon gets one. So, but anyway, that's just kind of a fluky thing. But sometimes I know a lot about my subject. Sometimes, hey, y'all, look at this. Look what I found. And that's and that's what it is. So
well, it's fun to watch you take a bird to say Walden's Puddle and be able to go pick it back up and release it.
Yeah.
It's
See,
better now.
I've got an in between right now. I've got an otter down there. I've got about this year's otter. He was doing good so we're going to see. Hopefully, do a release back into the East Fork of the Stones River sometime early fall. So
okay.
That's the hopes anyway.
Call us.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it'd be fun to come out and get some video of you releasing and
Well,
and
let's
all
just
that.
open the cage and get out of the way because those things are ferocious,
right.
man. If you've seen a wolverine, they're half cousins. They will eat you.
Oh man! But I think it is neat to hear. You rattle off the biological name and
Scientific
name,
names
and these terms, and it's great for people to hear those and learn. You're educating folks at the same time.
That's why I always, if I say a scientific, if I am not absolutely sure, I think.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
But if I remember correctly, I'll try to say it. Then sometimes it's some of them are pretty easy to remember, but kind of hard to forget some of them. But
Yeah.
that's, part of it. But anyway, just trying to spread a little more information.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what you come up with next, what you send me next. It's always an adventure to see what's going to come through
You did see
next.
the 12-inch thorn I sent you yesterday, right?
Yes, I've got that.
Oh, golly.
Tell us about that tree. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool because one of the species of tree doesn't have the thorns, right?
Right. Well, it's just a mutation. But anyway, the tree we're talking about is a honey locust. Honey locust tree. If you've ever seen it, has massively long thorns, and we can get into the biological reasons years and eons ago why this tree has thorns. But anyway, you'll find them sometimes that don't, and those trees have made it into our yards as a horticultural special. The honey locust sometimes has a mutation where it doesn't have thorns, and it's planted in yards as a shade tree, and there's no leaves at all to rake up when it loses its leaves. Has a unique structure. I like it really because it makes nice flowers that my bees will make honey out of.
Oh, yeah.
So I like that little shade. And I've actually started paying attention out in the woods to find these trees that don't have any thorns. And yeah, I'll always pick up the pods, stick them in my pocket. My wife finds them when they go through the washing machine. But anyway, I've actually grown. I've got 4 or 5 planted in the yard that came off of these trees and
cool.
find them. So, but anyway, just honey locust with no thorns. The ones that normally did I don't know if you could put a picture of this in this video somewhere or another, but I found one the other day, a small tree, only 4 inches, that had thorns that were over 12 inches long.
Wow. Yikes.
So you accidentally fall into that, you're going to get punctured.
Oh, man.
So did you find this on WMA? Or where were you?
No.
Okay.
I refused your answer on the grounds I might incriminate myself. No, I was actually doing some, let's say, some surveillance work for the upcoming bow season there in Cannon County.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, that's not punctured. That's impaled, isn't
There you
it?
go.
Hey,
That's right. Man.
You don't want to fall on it. That's why I say when you're walking in the woods, be careful.
yeah.
Don't fall into that
That's
tree.
it. That's it.
Oh, hey, this has been fun, Mark. I appreciate what you do for the agency.
It's,
Appreciate what you do for the public out there.
I told them when they hired me, I'll do this job for free. Just let me drive the truck.
And they threw in the tractor for free, didn't
Tractor
they?
for free. Appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate both of y'all, what y'all do.
Thank
bet,
you,
Mark.
Thank you, Mark. It's always a fun time when we can have a chat, and I'm glad we could do it on the air so folks could meet you and learn about what you do and just see all the different.
Seek out those ventures.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We'll do some more.
Yeah, there'll be some more Vance's Ventures online.
Yeah.
Check out our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, all those fun places. Our website, tnwildlife.org. Our YouTube channel. Like us, share us, click the bell, all that fun stuff. So,
Beautiful.
anything else, Don?
Thanks for the radio partners out there. Appreciate them carrying our show and won another award this year. So
Yeah.
congrats there, Jason.
Thank
you. And thanks for dealing me in around the card table again.
Maybe one of these days you'll win.
Yeah. I keep trying.
Couldn't do it without Todd behind the board over here.
That's right.
Appreciate him and
The man, what is.
Yeah, he makes it happen. So, well, that's Tennessee Wildcast for you, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out. Love y'all.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee Wildcast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.